2023 Scott Addict RC Ultimate in a size 54, weighing in at 14 pounds, 14 ounces, and in kilos, 6.76 kilos. Stay tuned to the video where you hear that Freehub bias sound test after the video. Hey, how's it going, everyone? GC Performance here, back with another video, and today I have for you guys this 2023 Scott Addict Ultimate RC in a size 54, and as you guys just saw, the weight was pretty impressive. But if you guys are clicking on this video, it's probably one of two things. You're either looking to buy this bike, or two, you guys saw the price tag I put on this bike itself. The bike retails for $16,000 USD. That's right, guys, you heard it first. This is our 2023 Addict Ultimate Edition model, which is like their top of the line. It is the only version of the Scott Addict that comes in the HMX SL carbon. This is their lightest, their most craziest carbon fiber that they actually offer. But I just want to go a little bit more deeper dive into that, because I usually always give Scott the praise they deserve when coming to price points. They do one of the best jobs, I think, out there in the industry for pricing a mid-tier to high-tier level road bike. Until I wanted to hold my tongue on this one until this bike, though. This bike retails, like I said, for $16,000 USD. And from 2022 to 2023, this is the exact same bike they offered from last year. I was trying to find a difference for this video to say from this year to that year. There is not one difference on this bike from last year to this year, and the price jumped up $2,000. Now again, I know there's inflation. I don't run a business at that scale. I don't know what could happen. I know Scott USA is a separate entity from the EU model as well. But again, I don't see the point of the $2,000 price point increase as well. Now, even from there, I was like, okay, well, maybe what happened from 2021 to 2022? 2021, their Addict Ultimate, which came with the same exact carbon as this bike does right now, it retailed for $11,000. But the reason for that was because the wheels that came on there were the Zip 303 Firecrest wheels. So yes, the price did go up because of the fact they raised them to 303 SEs. I'm sorry, the 303 NSWs. So from 2021 to 2022, it went to a $14,000 price point. Now again, that's a crazy price point out there, but there are other bikes around that price point. But $16,000 from Scott, which I always kind of give them good credit for saying that they price their bikes very competitive for today's market. It's hard for me. It's hard for me. It really is. It's the exact same paint job. It's the same handlebar they had for 3 years, the same Addict carbon they had for 3 years. These NSWs wheels are expensive. They're about $4,000, but that's nothing new. And there's a lot of $14,000 bikes out there on the market that come with these wheels. This SRAM red group set, it is a Power Mirror group set, but that's about $4,000. It was just very, very hard for me to go ahead and kind of go without talking about that price point. So I just want to say on that it was expensive. Even to take it a step further, the model right underneath this is their top line model they make, yes. This is the Addict Ultimate SL. They make a model right underneath it, the Scott Addict RC Pro, which I think is one of the best price point bikes out there on the market. It's a bike for $10,000. It is not their HMX SL carbon, it is just their HMX carbon, but it comes with Zip 303S wheels and Durace 12-speed Di2. That's a pretty competitive price point market bike. That's a $10,000 bicycle, carbon fiber wheels, Durace 12-speed on there, carbon fiber bars, fully integrated. And I'm like, yeah, I don't see you spending $6,000 more just to get the NSW wheels and SRAM red and HMX SL carbon. It doesn't make any sense to me. But that's my take on it. Even the foils as well. Foils are $16,000 bikes. But just between the two of them, for this bike being at $16,000, I was just mind blown by it. I know other company bikes are out there. You can get a Pinarello My Way for $16,000. I know you could probably spec out another bike for $16,000 as well. But this bike for $16,000 is just a really hard pill to swallow. And just like I said, just to mention that the bottom bracket's not ceramic. The OSPW that I usually put on there, that's extra money. It's just insane. And like I mentioned before, from 2022 to 2023, there's nothing changed from this bike. Not even the paint job. It's the exact same paint job on there as well. So I had to just say that and call out a company whenever I notice it, because I really do like Scott bikes. This bike is super light. The bike is 6.75 kilos for the whole build, which is crazy light compared to other bikes I have in the market. 14 pound, 14 ounces, which you can obviously change out these tires to make them even lighter. You can probably get this bike 6.8 kilos if you pay the $16,000. But I mean, like, it's just like, it's a $14,000 bike. That's what it should be marketed at. That's what it was last year. But who knows? We'll see what happens there. Maybe Scott's point is is that they don't make enough of them to sell enough of them. So maybe they're just saying, hey, if whoever's going to buy these for 16 grand, they'll get their money's worth, and then they'll recuperate afterwards. Who knows? But without further ado, let me go into this whole bike build, because it is still a special build for 6.75 kilos fully built. Scott does do some pretty cool things like here, like including a TPU tube as well on the stock wheel, which we'll talk about. Yeah, it just feels super light for what the bike is. So now that was the bad side. Now let's go into the good side of the bike, going over the whole thing. So starting out with the cockpit, this is Scott Synchro's own integrated cockpit. This is a full one-piece bar and stem combo. It's about $600 for this upgrade. The bar is a 42 centimeter from point to point. You do have an option for an integrated garment mount, which Scott sells as well, made by Synchros, which just bolts on right down there. This handlebar is about $600, like I said. So if you did need to change out your stem or bar combination, let's say that you ride this bike, but you ride a 120 millimeter stem, you would have to buy a whole new cockpit as well for these integration bar and stems. They do look clean. They are super light, but a lot more companies are doing this. Trek Madonna coming out. Special, I just kind of sneak peeked at the new Revolve one. Pinarello's bars like that as well. So make sure whenever you're buying these bikes, you either get, I don't know if they do swap out programs either. I don't think they do, but this is where it's going to kind of come in expensive. But if you do have 16 grand, you probably got the $600 extra to swap out the bar and stem to make it comfortable to ride. With the handlebar, it is the handlebar tape. This is the Scott Synchros handlebar tape. And then for the group set as well, it is SRAM Red 12-speed group set, 12 gears in the rear, 2 in the front. Like always, we do have the paint job on here, which is just a matte black paint job. Very lightweight though. I mean, it's a clean looking bike. And like all their other bikes as well, if the whole bike is going to be matte, the top tube is going to be gloss. If the whole bike is going to be gloss, the top tube is going to be matte. So very clean looking. You have the RC logo here. We have the Attic logo here. We have the little Ultimate sign right here. Again, the Ultimate is the only bike you can get their HMX SL carbon on here. Going down to the front, we have the Scott logo right here, your Scott logo on the side. And then for the wheels, you have their brand new 2023 Zip NSW 353 wheels with their patented sawtooth blade technology, bladed spokes, and then their own zip hubs. These wheels are hookless rims, so you can only rub tubeless tires on here. So these are going to be a Schwabble Tire Pro, Schwabble Pro 1 tire. This is a tubeless ready tire. It is a 700 by 28C tire. Take note, you can run tubes on here because if we take a look, there is no thread on there. There is no tubeless valve on there. That is a tubed valve on there, and that is how they probably get this bike so lightweight. Those are TPU tubes, very lightweight plastic tubes inside there with a black valve, which I thought was pretty cool. It's my first time actually seeing a bicycle company manufacturer come stock with TPU tubes, so I think that's pretty cool. So there's a very lightweight plastic tube inside of there. You can run a tubed inside of a tubeless tire on hookless rims. I know it's very confusing, but just make sure you check with these wheels with their compatibility charts on there, but you can do that. So I know these wheels are very lightweight. For the rotors here, we have on here SRAM Red 160 millimeter rotors with a center ring lock ring on here. We have our SRAM Red disc brake caliper here. Again, I always praise Scott for this. I do like the innovation here. You have this little magnetic cover that goes on the front, and here are your disc brake mounting bolts right here that go right into the caliper. It looks clean, it looks flush. You don't have the bolt head sticking out back here. I like the look a lot of it, very aero. And people always wonder, are these things gonna bounce off if you hit a bump? You have to hit a pretty hard pothole, and I think you got bigger things to worry about, like a cracked rim or a cracked frame, than losing this on here. But this thing stays on here pretty good. For the logo going down the bottom, we have a nice solid S skewing all the way down to Scott, which as you can see, it's like the logo is literally shearing off because you're going so fast. For the bottom bracket is a press fit 86, BB86 bottom bracket on here. And then it comes with just a normal SRAM dub bottom bracket. Like I mentioned, no ceramic for paying that $16,000 premium price tag, which I would like to see. I mean, if you're gonna pay that much money, it should come with every single bell and whistle you got here. For the crank, it is a SRAM Red Dub Axis crank with a 4835 tooth chainring on here, and then you have a quark power meter that is built into the chainrings as well. Carbon fiber crank arms and a 172.5 carbon crank arm. And then we have here a SRAM Red front derailleur with the separate batteries. You have a separate ion battery here and another battery back here. These are interchangeable and swappable. Pop this thing off, it goes all the way to the back right there, which is very nice. We do have a SRAM flat top chain on here for a 12-speed and a 1033 tooth cassette in the back. This group set has been out for a very long time, about 3 years. I have made videos in the past talking about this group set, maybe getting a refresh, I don't know, but I I would like to see something a little bit more sleeker here, maybe smaller batteries. You know, just basically take this group set because I don't think it needs a 13-speed group set on here. Make something just a little bit better on there. And then for the rear wheel, it is the exact same wheel, the Zip NSW 353 with their own SRAM, or I'm sorry, with their own Zip technology, which I'll kind of give you guys a free buy sound test at the end of it. And their same exact tire, it's a Schwalbe Pro 1 700 by 20 AC tire with the TPU tubes like I mentioned before. Very cool. This was the first company I've ever seen to run, like I said, those plastic tubes in there. I would like to see more and more companies integrate that in there because they usually do just come with a stock inner tube anyways, and people will usually either change them out to latex, change them out to TPUs, change them out to tubeless. So if you are paying for this premium bike, why not give the customer a premium tube if they're going to take it out anyways? Because these butyl tubes they're leaving there on these $12, $14, $10,000 bikes, people usually just run tubeless anyway. So I do like that they're doing that. For the seat post, it is their own Scott Synchros proprietary seat post. It's carbon fiber. You have their own integrated seat wedge right here. 3mm Allen key. Tighten this bad boy up. You have this little wedge cover as well. And then on here, you can see that this is an S-Works power saddle in gray. Now, if you guys are wondering that, it usually comes with a full carbon fiber Belcaro seat by Synchros. But in the box itself, it got lost in transition. We did not get a seat with this bike, so we were waiting for Scott to go ahead and send us out a seat for this bike. But yes, we're just waiting for that seat to come on in. That stock seat, also the full carbon fiber Belcara from Synchros, is super light, so I probably will say it might be a little bit lighter, maybe 6.73 kilos, but we'll see. And then for the rear rotor, it is a 160 millimeter SRAM red disc brake, so you have 160 front, 160 rear, which is normal with a Shimano lock ring. You'll see that a lot of times from manufacturers, the fact that they don't have lock rings with the SRAM red. I don't know why, but the SRAM group don't come with lock rings. So you'll see a lot of times manufacturers put just a Shimano lock ring on there. SRAM red disc brake caliper with the adapter on here as well. You can run a 140 on here if you wanted to as well. And then you have their own Synchros pop-off tool. This tool can actually pop off. You can put it to the front, so that way if you do have any issues with a front flat, you can go ahead and pop this thing off like this. Let's see if I can get this thing like this. Wiggle it out. Boom. And we have innovation right here at your fingertips. This can now go into your front screwer, so you're able to unscrew your through axle. And this is also a T25 and a 6mm Allen key. So if you do get into an accident or a crash, your handlebars come askew, you can go ahead and pop off that top cap and use this T25 to retighten down your handlebars and straighten them out for the ride home, which is very nice. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, Zip NSW 353 wheels, Freehub body sound check with the Freehub body and the hub chuck. Yo, show your hub up. All right, guys, we're going to do this video. Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Okay.